We'll be doing this with just you guys.
Okay. The question was...
We'll try to not diverge too much. Right, Mary?
Right. The question was, what is one of your favorite holiday memories? And we picked out, what is one of your family traditions? Those were the two questions. And really, they sort of interact together.
Sure. All right. You want to do the holiday memory first, then?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Cool. You want to kick us off,
Mary? You go first, because I'm not doing so much with the young ear, and it's like we're both together on that, so.
Well, okay. I don't have any. I found some extra pictures. Linda, I'm so glad I found that picture with me with my bike. But I didn't get pictures out yet. I got to get a big box down. Once again, I should just leave them down to get some of our when my kids were little. But this is more my memories of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
One of my memories, Kevin, is well, we always had such wonderful Christmases. We always did, and we always had a lot of family. Uncle Phil and Uncle Frank would come down, and if Uncle Frank didn't come, then Uncle Phil most of the time did. And the Sweetex that lived to Carol and Ricky and them all that lived upstairs would come downstairs. But we used to have such great Christmases and housefuls of people. But there's two great memories, and this is going to be short, that I really remember the most. And that was, I was in 3rd grade, and our milkman, Mr., we just called him Augie. I don't even know what his name was. I guess that was the first name. We called him Augie. And he played Santa Claus one year. And he came to the house, and that's when we had all of us kids and Ricky and Carol. And this was, I don't know if Chuck was born yet or not. 3rd grade, I'm about 7 years. Him and
He was really tiny,
Yeah,
he's not in a lot of things because he was so far younger than we were.
Well, I did find one with him as a baby, as a little one.
Did he play Santa Claus every year, or just this year in particular that you remember?
Just this one year.
Okay.
Just this one year. This one year, Augie came and played Santa for all of us kids. And I remember when he came in the house, he had this great big red sack. And I remember him passing out presents out of the sack to all the kids. And when he was all done, I didn't get anything. And I wanted to cry. But I thought I was too big for that because I was in 3rd grade. And I believe I still believed in Santa Claus. And
I believed till, I think, 7th grade.
Yeah. I think
because you kids were little and I couldn't say nothing.
Right. You didn't really, but you had to. But anyway, I went up to him reluctantly, and I said, Santa, is there anything for me? And he looked in his bag, and he goes, no, there's nothing. It's all empty, or something like that. But he says, oh, wait a minute. He says, I know, yours was too big. It wouldn't fit in the sack. He says, I think I left it out on the patio. So, of course, I, as a kid, turned around and charged out through the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And when I went out, there was a blue and white Schwinn bicycle sitting on the patio.
Holy smokes. That's making me smile.
Yeah. It was blue and white.
I remember that. Probably that time.
Oh, golly. And I can't believe it, Linda. I come in here just maybe 15 minutes ago, and I opened up the closet, and I thought, oh, I can't get that box down. I'm going to get this little one down and see what's in here. I know there's some old pictures, but maybe there's more Christmas. And I've got things in big envelopes. Bob's, mine, and I just opened mine and reached in. The first pick I pulled out was Linda, me with my bicycle.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you found it.
I am too. So that's definitely got to be in there, in the book. Let me know when you're ready for more.
1 second. Sorry for the typing, ladies.
That's
No,
okay.
that's
We got
okay.
all the time in the world, right, Mare?
That's right. I told Chase not to come home until 8 o'clock.
If we didn't do so much talking, you wouldn't have to do so much typing.
You're hilarious. Can you tell me about the bike again?
What, hon?
What kind of a bike was it?
I want to say it was a Schwinn.
Blue Schwinn. Probably. I think they owned the market back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were pretty popular back then.
All right, so let's expand a little bit about, like, how'd you feel when you saw it? Like,
Oh my God!
You know?
I was so excited. I was so excited that I remember yelling, "Mom, Mom!" And I know she was right behind me. You know.
yeah.
I'm sure the kids were piling in behind, too, to see what was
Yeah, I
going
think
on.
the kids were piling in behind too to see what I got. You know. But no, I was so surprised. But then I couldn't wait to ride it. But we had snow.
Aw.
You know, and I had to wait till almost in the middle of March before we actually got most of the snow gone, where I could go out, because I didn't know how to ride. I had to teach myself. But I went out in our big front yard, and I would go around in a big circle in our front yard. And there was little piles of snow.
Yeah, because, years ago, Kevin, it would snow in November and not leave until, like, March.
Dang.
Like March,
There was
April.
no such thing as, we just had snow all the time back in those days. Big snow.
We had deep snow.
So, yeah, I can see where she wouldn't ride it till spring.
Yeah, I couldn't ride it till about the middle of March. Then I would go downstairs on the front porch and look at it. Just couldn't wait to learn how to ride it.
Almost done.
That's okay. Take your time. I was so happy to find those pictures of the boat. That one with Bob inside the boat, cleaning the boat.
Huh?
I didn't see. I found two pictures that I was looking for when we were doing the boat,
Mm-hmm.
the expensive thing. I found those pictures, Linda, and I sent them to Kevin.
Did you send them to Aunt Linda too?
No, not yet.
Yeah, you did, Mary. You sent it in an email.
Oh, did I send them to you? Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, you sent it out. Yeah, you did.
Oh, we were sending pictures back and
No,
forth
you
so much.
sent it by message, yeah.
Mm.
I'll just have to save it.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. So, yeah, you said snow, would usually stay from November through February, March, huh?
Yeah,
December.
In the old days,
December.
yep. Yeah.
December
we would
till
just
March.
get snowstorm after snowstorm. It just never go away.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a lot of snow until March. It started to melt away. I got out there the first day. I could see grass and get out there.
And it would be so high that we'd, that long sidewalk, and then we'd have to make a jiggy over to our our patio porch. And, geez, I don't know how my dad got in and out. We never had a garage. My dad's
Yep,
cars were always
they never had a
outside.
plow either, Linda.
Yeah, I don't know how we survived. And the boys were kind of little to be shoveling.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember one time my mom and dad had friends visiting, the Bradleys, and Asina and I forget his name, Bradley. They parked out on the road, and they shoveled their way up the driveway to come visit.
Wow.
I remember one time when I was at Fran's Tap, our hangout, and it was already like about, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I said, oh my gosh, I got to get home. I got to go to work. And Richie Justy said, oh, I'll give you a ride. He was plowed. He was plowed under. But anyway, he had a Jeep with a snowplow on the front of it. And he brought me home from Oglesby. And I said, Rich, our driveway's got a curb on each end. I said, but I think it's right here. I said, just drop me off. I'll walk. He goes, oh, hell no. He said, I'll get you up there. Anyway, he started plowing that driveway. He got me all the way up to your mom's front patio. But he was plowing and plowing and plowing. And when I got out and I trudged through all that snow to the front porch, because that was our entryway. And when I came in,
Dad not to have to do it.
yeah, your dad opened up the door when I was at the bottom of the stairs, and he said, "Who the hell was that?" He says, "Oh, that rabbit woke me up." I says, "Oh, that was Rich Justy. I was going to walk, but he insisted on plowing." And I think it was like 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
But at least he got his driveway plowed.
Right.
That's cool. What other fun memories you got?
Oh, another one, Kevin. I had to be either 12 or 13. And I never really had any jewelry. I had a little necklace or something like that, or a little bracelet, a little girl bracelet. But my gift from my mother was a brand new Westclox watch. Oh my God. I saw that and I was so excited. I never had anything so beautiful, for a kid. And I couldn't believe my mom gave me.
Grown up then too, more grown up.
Yeah. I felt so grown up. I was so excited and overwhelmed that after I opened it and everything, and everybody else was moving on to their other openers, I got up and I went over on our side of the house. And I sat down and I just started bawling. I was so happy. And I remember Uncle Frank was visiting. And he came over to Mom's side because they stayed in the bedroom upstairs. And he was going to go upstairs. And he heard me crying and he came in the kitchen. And he goes, "What are you crying for?" I go, "My mom bought me a watch." And I was so overwhelmed. Those are 2 Christmases I don't think I'll ever forget.
Wow.
I just felt felt so grown up with that watch.
Those were kind of big gifts, Kevin. We got,
Yeah, we didn't get big gifts.
And we didn't get big gifts like kids get now,
Yeah.
Really pretty neat.
We might have got something to wear in a little game or something.
So
I remember one Christmas we come home from Chicago. We went to Uncle Frank's, and when we came home, there was one little package on the hassock by the tree. One little tiny little package, and I opened it up, and it was a little game, and it was left over. That's all I
never complained.
That and 50 cents in my stocking. That was it. Yeah, we didn't get big gifts. So to me, that was... I had the world by the tail on those two.
wow, how cool. Who came to see you in that moment?
Uncle Frank.
Uncle Frank. Got it. Oh, that's really great, Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far
Kevin, how Mary would say too, how we opened our gifts at that time was one at a time. Usually the youngest, because they couldn't wait the longest, and so it could have taken a couple hours to do the gifts,
Yeah,
and
that's more or less one of the traditions.
What everybody gave. And,
that's one of the
we
traditions.
did that all the years that I can remember. It wasn't, it wasn't a free for all.
That's how we did it in our house. That must be why.
What?
That's how we did it when we were kids growing up. That's how Mom and Dad made us do it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a lot longer. And I know we used to eat supper, and then, oh man, we couldn't wait to get out in the living room. And then finally Grandpa Chuck would say, okay, pass them out. And we'd pass them out, put a pile here, pile there. Who's going to sit where? But that was one of our traditions too, Linda. Is passing them all out, and then starting with the.
Are we going to do like traditions separate, Mary, and not just?
Well, I don't know, Kevin. What do you think? Should we throw in traditions all together with it?
Is that the part of the next question?
Well, it's how we did Christmas and stuff, but it's what we did for Christmas, but it was also one of our traditions.
It's a tradition that we started that most people don't do. Maybe
why don't we leave that one of the Why don't we leave that one of the traditions?
Yeah, or if you're done with your Christmas memories, and if you're going on to traditions or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one of the traditions. So I can go on to the what are some of the traditions you for your holidays?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest traditions that we carry it through, and I still do today, was my mom, and Aunt Angie, always baked her walnut pititas.
Gosh, those are so good.
Her Slovenian walnut pititas. And when she used to make them, Kevin, there was no electric grinders. She had one of those old-fashioned grinders that you screw onto the kitchen table. And they would not buy bagged, cleaned nuts.
Mm-hmm.
She would come home with a big bag, couple of bags of the whole walnut, and we would have to sit there and crack the walnuts. One person would crack the nuts, and then two people had little nut pickers. And we would sit there and pick the meat out of the nut.
All of us kids lined up at a kitchen table, Kevin, and no getting out of it. We had to do it.
She would check those.
Walnuts.
Yeah, she would check those cells.
I our heads bent over those nuts picking at them at the table. I wish we had a picture of that, because that was just what we had to do by the grove.
Yeah. But she always checked the nutshells to make sure we got all the meat. You know, you gotta get all that meat. I need it in the pizza. You know.
Oh.
And I still have her nut pickers. Maybe I'll take a picture of those.
Yeah.
You know, I could take a picture of her little nut pickers.
Those are actually heirlooms, Mary.
Well, they really are, Linda.
Yeah.
You know, they really are. And, I got them downstairs with the nutcracker. So, but I'll have to take a picture of those and send it along with the pizza. But my mom made pizzas every Christmas. And she would make pizzas every Easter. Those are the only 2 times a year that she made Slovenian walnut pizza.
How do you spell that?
Pizza?
Yeah.
Poticia.
P-O-T...
Pizza.
There it is. Totally misspelled. I was putting 2 C's in there.
I'll have to do a spell check for you.
Yeah, you will. So, okay. So, and what did you say? It was just a walnut pizza?
Yeah, they're called Slovenian walnut pizzas.
Slovenian. Pizza. Let's see.
Slovenian.
I'm going to put in there, you can change it if you don't want, pronounced po-tizza. So, yeah, let me know if you like how it reads, otherwise we can take it out. So, let's see, and I kind of left off with, you said that Angie would go around, look through all the kids' shells, and make sure they were getting all the nut and meat out of the shell.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't want to waste any morsel.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the process. Did you have to like do anything with the nuts themselves at some point? Like, did she have a different process than you?
You used to have to grind. She had the old grinder attached to the table, and she would grind nuts and raisins together. And Mom always put a little bit of orange rind in it.
That's why it really tasted good.
She always used to put a quarter to about a half of orange rind in them. And you just grind that all up. And that's the filling. And then, of course, you add sugar, eggs, honey, all the good stuff.
So the orange rind was the secret ingredient, huh?
Yeah, that was one of the secret ingredients. Now, our cousin, Audrey Urbank, well, she's not Urbank now, she's King, but she started making them because Mom taught me and I taught Helga, and Helga taught her, And she said she puts a half a whole orange in there.
Wow.
I've never done that. I've only just used. Huh?
The whole one?
She said she used to put like the whole, like a half a orange, the whole orange. Yeah.
What'd you just say, Linda?
I just wonder how it would change the flavor of having more orange.
Well, I think it'd be more orange. I don't know how
orange flavor.
I don't know about the texture, Linda. I don't know about the texture.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Don't change, Mary.
No, I like mine the way they are. Then, Kevin, my mom used to make them only Christmas and Easter. But when my mom got so sick and she was dying, I asked her how to make them. And my mother-in-law gave me a Slovenian cookbook. She had gotten a cookbook from St. Mary's Hospital Auxiliary, and there was Slovenian pizza recipes in there. So I went over the recipes with my mom when she was in her hospital bed.
Wow.
And she would tell me, no, I don't put that in. Yes, I put that in. And she would tell me about how much. I never had a measuring thing.
Mm-hmm.
She would just tell me about approximately how much of everything. And the year she died is the first year I ever made them myself.
Wow.
And I've been making them ever since. I used to make them Christmas and Easter, but I haven't made them in Easter for a long time. I make extra at Christmas, and I put like a loaf or an angel food pan in the freezer for Easter. But even Angie grew up helping me grind the nuts and roll the dough, you know.
And I can remember my mother and I being on kitchen duty. I guess when I was home, whenever that was, you know.
Yeah.
You always
had somebody.
We have a couple times.
Yeah, we cleaned the nuts together. She'd grind everything. She'd make her dough, and then we'd be doing dish duty. Washing dishes, because you have to leave it raised, and then you roll it out, put all the filling on it, roll it up. Put it in the pans and have to leave it raised again before you can bake it.
Right.
Yeah, it's an all-day process.
Yeah, it is.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, we have this bread that we grind the berries, or not berries, the wheat ourselves, and it's a two-step raised process, but it only takes like 2 hours to make.
Yeah.
You know, and that whole time is just waiting for it to raise. So.
Right. Well, usually while I'm waiting for everything to raise, I'm washing dishes.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I want some now. What else?
That's the biggest tradition
for
a holiday that I can really remember. Only another thing that we always did, we always went to midnight mass, and Linda will cover all that more. But my mom never went. She would, because Uncle Phil, like I said, Uncle Phil would always come down. And he worked at a bakery. He was a great baker. And he would bring baked items, and he would go to the shops, the meat shops in Chicago, and he'd come home with good homemade smoked sausage. And my mom would stay behind, and she'd make smoked sausage and slice the pizza. And she would just, when we come home from midnight mass, she'd have a great big spread ready for us to
Oh
eat.
my God! Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we made a Christmas an all-day, all-night thing.
Yeah, and then we didn't have to go to church in the morning because we did midnight mass.
Yeah, because we already went to midnight mass, so we didn't have to get up for church.
That was one of my favorite things about Christmas Eve was the midnight mass.
Yeah.
You got to stay up just, especially being a kid, you got to stay up just a little bit later.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. But well, that's really great, Aunt Mary. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm going to send a picture. I'm going to send some pictures of me as a little one.
Yeah.
With Jim and Linda, and I've got one of Chuck as about a toddler by the fireplace.
No kidding.
With my mom and Helen, and then there's a couple other ones. You guys take your pick, but I know I do want the bicycle one in there, and I'll send a Petita and my neck pickers.
Yeah, you said you got a picture of the Petita?
Oh yeah, I got pictures of Petita.
Any pictures
Not
of
my
your?
mother's. Not my mother's. Mine.
Oh, that's fine. You have any pictures of when Angie was making them?
No, I mean we didn't take pictures back then.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we never took pictures back then. You know, that's one sad thing. Years ago when we were growing up, there wasn't. The kids today, even you kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with cell phones, you have a camera on you 24/7
Yeah.
that can capture anything and everything.
I think they say we take more pictures now in a day than we did all during the 18th century.
Oh, I believe
it.
Yeah.
Even, every second of your life is in a picture anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm just new to Facebook, and I'm just amazed at all the pictures Kelly has of her children growing up. You know, and they're just darling, and all the, you know, it just blows my mind. You know, every instant of their life is on a picture practically.
Yeah. Yeah, I regret. You know, you don't think of these things when you were a kid, but I wish my parents had gotten a couple of pictures of the bicycles that Jay and I rode when we were younger.
I do too. Oh,
You know,
yes.
I have no pictures of those bikes, and like, I worked a paper route to build one of those from the ground up. You know,
Oh, wow.
and some butthole stole it out of the garage.
And no pictures of
I
it.
had no photographs of it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I got one of me holding it in the background.
Sometimes too, Kevin, some things are only in our minds anymore.
Yeah.
You know, once the minds go, it'll be gone.
For sure. Any other traditions, Mary?
I don't know.
Any little things we can add to this to follow the Petita story?
We can think as we go to an ad later on, can't we, Kevin?
Oh, whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Sometimes it's hard to think
but
when
the
you're
only thing is,
you know.
I kept up the tradition as I was started opening gifts, but with the youngest first.
Yeah.
And I also kept the tradition of making pizzas.
Yeah.
My mother's pizza. And I remember when Mom gave me that recipe, the one thing we had to laugh at, she did it, and as she's telling me how to make it with the directions, when it came time to roll the dough, that now you roll the dough thin enough to be able to see the flowers on the table. No, that's like I was going to use a flowered tablecloth for sure. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was just sort of funny, you know. But Linda, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 6 nut pickers. No, 1, 2, 3. I got 7 nut pickers.
Dang.
7 pictures?
Nutcrackers.
No, nut pickers.
Oh, pickers, nut pickers.
I got 1 nutcracker, but I got 7 nut pickers.
You got to send me a picture of a nut picker.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to send
me
you
one.
Yeah, oh yeah, I will. I will.
Oh, that's neat, Mary Lynn.
I just went downstairs and got them.
You did good, Mary.
Oh, that must be why your signal was cutting out there a second ago.
Yeah, I was going downstairs.
You know,
And I've got the actual nutcracker and the nut pickers. And
Did Dad ever tell you he would take us kids out into the walnut groves and we would fill up 5-gallon buckets of walnuts?
No.
I remember them talking about a walnut grove.
Yeah, we would.
Was that out by St. Bede's?
Well, this is in California.
Oh, in California. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that was kind of a tradition for your family.
We would go out when the seasons hit, yeah, and we did that several years in a row. And yeah, and if we wanted to eat a walnut, we'd have to shell that damn thing ourselves. And this is, you know,
More work, isn't it, Kevin?
and a lot of these still had like the outer skin on them, right? So you had to peel off the skin, then you had to break into the nut, then you had to dig the meat out of the nut. You know, and if we wanted magic cookie bars,
Great.
if we wanted Mom to make us magic cookie bars, we had to shell those nuts.
Oh, I bet those magic cookie bars
Kevin,
are delicious with
if we
walnuts.
wanted a pizza, yeah, if
Because
we wanted a
stronger
pizza, we
flavors
had
to
to,
them.
Yeah,
we had to do that too.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
so good.
So,
Well,
JC,
what do you got, Aunt Linda? Like,
So,
do you have a favorite present or a
my
Christmas
younger
memory?
years, Jim and I were like cloned together, so where I was, he was usually.
Yeah.
And I just found a couple pictures that I'm going to include because I have a memory from as when I was older. But this picture has Jim and I under the tree, and it looks like I got my very first record player. That's what it looks like that I'm looking at there. And if that's the one that I'm thinking of, I kept it for a really long time, and I had some Hawaiian records of your mother. I don't know if that's a record player I played those on or not, but Angie had some Hawaiian records that we would play downstairs in my bedroom. And then there's another picture of Jim and I hanging our stockings on the tree. On the mantle. And my mother would have her manger set on the mantle, and then we would hang our stockings there. So I don't remember a whole lot about that. But I was going to talk a little bit about when I was a little older of one midnight mass that Mother and I talk about all the time. We went to church, got ready, we opened all our presents, had how we did. And the other thing, when opening presents, when we got a little older, it was not only family that was there, our friends would come. And they never got a gift, but they'd line up on the hall planter box there and just watch us open our gifts. Richard Cope, I can remember, and Larry McDonald would come over. Those were your dad's friends. And then I had a friend named Carol that would come over. And I remember my mother commenting that she enjoyed having everybody there, but how if her children went to another house on Christmas Eve, that she would have felt very sad.
Yeah.
She was glad that everybody felt to come to our house. But we would get all dressed up and go to midnight mass, like Mary said, except for Aunt Angie and my dad didn't go to church. And and when we went to church that night, there wasn't really a lot of snow on the ground at all. I don't remember that. It seemed like it was more clear pavement, maybe because it was shoveled so good. But we would go up to St. Mary's Church, and when you would walk up to the church, it had this huge stained glass window, and the church was all lit up, and all the lights were pouring out of the church and through that stained glass window, and then we would go into the Mass. And the Mass, because of being Christmas, could be almost 2 hours that you would be in there. They'd have hymns before, and then all the singing, and the Mass was usually an hour, and then all the extra stuff that they had going on. But when we opened the doors to leave, it had started snowing.
Yeah.
And the whole world was just a magic thing, with all the lights coming out of the church and people leaving the church and the snow coming down like crazy. It was just a Christmas Eve that my mother and I talked about for a very long time.
I remember that Christmas.
And sometime later, I'm not sure where I ever found him, but I found a thimble. Do you know what a thimble is, Kevin?
Just a little thing. Well, something you would use for sewing, right?
Yes, I found a thimble that had a church almost the shape of St. Mary's Church with snow coming down. a little tiny thing that had the memories of our Christmas Eve that was so special to us. And so I bought one for myself and one for my mother. And I just found out that Mary Lynn has the other one. So I'm going to send a picture of that. And then the picture of Jim and I, the early Christmases. And the other thing about one of the traditions of my mother at Christmas was that she would start baking cookies weeks before Christmas. And I might have talked about this when I talked about my mother. If I did, you can stop me. But she had these huge tins. I would say they were 2 feet high, maybe. And she would layer cookies in there, every kind of cookie that you can imagine. Almond cookies and Swedish cookies with little nuts in them. Decorated cookies. She must have had maybe 12 different kinds.
Oh, my favorite were the pinwheels. The date
pinwheels. Oh, I haven't had those in forever. Every kind of cookie you can imagine, and she would layer them with plastic or tin. What do you call it, Mary? Gosh, I lose.
How deep was that tub or tin?
What's the word? It's not plastic wrap. We didn't have that in those days.
What were you talking about?
She'd layer the cookies, and then sometimes if we'd open up the tin, we could reach down to where we liked a cookie, and she'd put them out in the hall of off our kitchen because it was always cooler there. And then, of course, when Aunt Angie set out all the food for people, when we come back from Mass, there'd be plates and plates of cookies. All just.
Oh wow!
It was
slices of pizza and all.
My mother worked. I do not know how she found it, and I was not a kitchen person. I don't think I helped her much with any of it that I can remember. But she did all that and just seemingly effortlessly. So anyway, that was kind of a neat thing. So sort of a tradition and sort of a neat Christmas that we had. And then I thought I'd just say a little bit about after I married Herb, and the very first Christmas I spent away from home, we went up to his sister Margie's home, and she lived in a little house, but she had 4 children, and they were heading into teenagehood at that time. And then his Aunt Nellie lived up there, and his cousin Joanne. So the house was full of people, and I expected it to be like Christmas at home. They did give out the gifts when we sat down and everything. They gave out the gifts. But then when they opened them, everybody opened them all at once. It was just pandemonium. There was papers everywhere and things flying, and I didn't even know what to do. I just nobody knew who gave what or who got what or anything. You had after it was all over, if you wanted to know who got what or what they got, you just had to go around to wherever they were sitting. It was the strangest thing.
Wow.
And that's how it was.
That's how it was.
That's how it continued to be.
Yeah, that's how it was my first Christmas at Bob's family. They passed everything around on the dining room table. It was all at once. And my sister-in-law said, how come you're not opening?
It's a shock to me. But the other neat thing about visiting up there was Herb's Aunt Nellie was a really older lady, even when I met her. And she lived out in the country for a while and then moved into town in a little tiny white house. But she decorated for Christmas every year. All kinds of old ornaments and paper things that she made, and she always hung all her cards everywhere. It was just kind of neat to go. She had a little tiny living room and the bedroom off the living room, and then a kitchen. But she had it all decorated. But I was always fascinated. She had a set of 4 bells, and they were black with gold on them. And every time we would come to visit, I would comment on those pretty little bells there. And sometime later, many years later, when she was going to have to give up her home, she gave me those bells. And I still have them now, and I'm going to send a picture of those. I always refer to them as Nellie's bells. And Herb has a half-brother, Bert, and who's very very, what would I say, talks about his Aunt Nellie a lot. And so, in fact, for this Christmas, I was going to send him 2 of them, but I haven't done it yet, because he and I remember Nellie probably the most. So those were my Christmases that were important to me. And then
Nice.
for a tradition of my later Christmases with Herb, I one time in shopping in Seattle, I found a nesting set of copper balls. Each one was different, and they were had cutouts on them. One was cut out with hearts, and another one was cut out with triangles. The biggest one was probably about 3 inches down to maybe 1.5 inches. And what I would do is I would make up a poem, and then I'd have and each one that her. Anyway, I'd start with the first one. I'd have a poem and tell him that he had to go like. Roses are red, this is ball number 1. If you go into the laundry room, it'll be fun, so then he has to go in there and find the gift in the next ball. And I did that quite a number of years. And one of the fun things I liked to put in was fishing stuff, because he liked to fish. I'd put lures in it or whatever, something to do with fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And, or sometimes it was just a big gift that wasn't in the ball. It was just like a tool or whatever, but so that was sort of one of the traditions that Herb and I had for quite a few years. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a picture of those?
A picture of the nesting balls?
Yeah.
You know what? They're packed with all my Christmas stuff. Maybe.
But Linda, you do have the bells.
I have the bells, and I have the bells and the little symbol I took a picture of together.
Okay.
But the nesting copper balls. Someday I'll have Herb get the boxes down, and I'll look it up and maybe take a picture out of that if you thought that would be good.
That's kind of neat. I don't know that I've ever seen a nesting copper ball.
I got them in Seattle. A bunch of ladies used to go shopping in Seattle every year before Christmas, the ones I worked with. And I found these in a little store. I've never seen anything like them, Kevin. They shine, and they're just wonderful. I'll have her take the box down and take them out and take a picture of them.
Huh.
So that's kind of what I wrote down.
They would be like a smaller one inside a bigger one inside a bigger one inside a bigger one.
Absolutely, and the biggest one was maybe 6 inches across. 5 or 6 inches across. Then the next one was a little smaller, and then the little tiny one was probably maybe 2.5 inches.
Wow.
They all had a different. They were copper, but they were cut. The copper was cut in designs. I think the smallest one was a heart design, and another one was diamond, like a triangle design. And I don't know what the other 2 were, but they're all different. That would be something to leave somebody,
That's interesting.
I've never seen anything like that ever again.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it was just fun to put, make a poem out and make them run all over the house looking for gifts.
Right.
Because there was only the 2 of us, a lot of the time. After we come back from Margie's, then we'd have our little Christmas here.
That's really neat. I found something online, but
go back when we did go up to Margie's for Christmas. This was sort of tradition too for many years, because the kids were just heading into teen years then, and we would all get in the car together. Sometimes put a sled in the trunk and go up to the foothills of the Olympic Mountains in the snow up there, and we'd walk along the trails or sled a little bit, or just spend part of the day up in the mountains. And we did that many times with the kids.
Which kids?
There were so many of them.
What kids at Linda?
Pardon me?
What kids were they?
Yeah, Margie had 4 children. She had 3 daughters and a son, and she also raised her half-brother Bert. Herb's and her half-brother Bert, because their mother died when Bert was 6. And Margie took Bert in and raised him with her children.
Yeah, it was Olympic Mountain, you said?
Yeah, the Olympic National Park is right outside of Port Angeles. This was in Port Angeles, Washington. And the Olympic National Park is right outside. You go right through Port Angeles and then to the Olympic Mountains to the park. And this would be the road up to the park. We never went way up there because the snow would be so deep, and we just had a regular car. And so we would go up to where the snow was sort of deep, and then we'd get out and walk or sled.
Wow. Now, who is Margie?
Picture of Margie and a couple of them up there.
I missed who Margie is.
Margie is Herb's sister.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Only
Okay.
the two of them. And then Bert was the half sibling. And Herb and Margie were only 13 months apart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Margie died in 2012, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, she's been gone a long time.
got it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun thing to do. Like, did you guys have sleds? Did you have snowball fights?
Yeah. We
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I forgot
Oh
about
my
that.
gosh, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I still have my wooden sled.
You
Yeah.
have a sled?
I've got Dad's sled from
I
when he was
got
a
my
kid.
sled.
Oh. And you have a sled too, Kevin?
Yeah, I got Dad's clipper hanging out in my garage. It's probably the one you and
That is
Yeah,
so
that's where
neat.
mine is, hanging out in the
We used to sled
garage.
down the front of our yard had a hill, and we'd sled down that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we go up to 2nd Street. We
Yeah,
go
I know,
up to
but we
2nd
did
Street.
it in the yard too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we had a steep enough
Well,
yard.
they would block off Putnam Street, didn't they?
No, we didn't do Putnam. We did
Oh,
Grant
okay.
in front of Torson's.
Okay.
We went up the street by Torson's. We went up by Mr. Piper's on the corner. And we came down 2nd Street, down to Copa's driveway.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So, Mary, you still have your old sled, huh?
Linda, I sent a picture of me with the buggy, and I sent the one with me sitting under the tree,
Oh,
and
okay.
I sent one with me and my bike, and then I have one.
Okay, you sent the one with the bike. Kevin, how do you want us to send the pictures after we're
I
done
just
talking?
text mine.
Yeah, texting is fine because we can add them. It's probably just easiest to just text and take a picture and text it.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the bike, Aunt Mary? Wow.
I have no idea who that is.
Look at that bicycle.
It doesn't show. This is Uncle Chuck. This is Chucky when he was a baby, and this is Grandma Tata. Grandma Helen, which is Kevin's real grandma, was really my aunt. But because my mother died when she was 71, my kids, your mommy, was young, and so was Uncle Robbie. So they started calling Grandma Aunt Helen Grandma Tata is aunt in Slovenia. So my kids called Aunt Helen Grandma Tata. And Tata Linda, Auntie Linda. Tata. They always called her Tata Linda.
Wow, is that Chuck with a little Tommy gun?
Yeah, that's Chuck with a little Tommy gun.
How about that?
I don't think he's more than maybe 2.
Yeah,
Maybe 2 years old.
he's
there.
tiny there. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that blonde hair.
Yep.
Little bibs.
Wow, how neat. Great pictures, Aunt Mary.
Yeah, then Linda's got some neat ones of her and Jim by the tree, under the tree and stuff.
Oh, I gotta go. Oh. No,
I like that one with the bamboo.
I think I messed up.
What's the matter?
Oh, I'm trying to send you some pictures.
Oh.
If I haven't messed up while I'm doing it.
My poor photos I've got so many old ones that we've been taking and sending, mixed in with everything that's current. Everything is just all jumbled.
Yeah, you gotta take a second to find them. All right, so let me just recap her a little bit. And Linda, you said one of your favorite memories was going to that mass with your mom and everybody and coming out, and the snow was just coming down. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like a magic time because when we went into the church, it wasn't snowing. And when we came out, it was just in your face, just coming down like crazy. And I don't know, it's just, for my mother and I, it was something magical. And my mother and I, too, one time we worked at West Clocks, and we had like a blizzard the night before, and we walked up to the bus to go, we worked at West Clocks together, which was maybe a mile away, I don't know. And the buses weren't running, and so we decided we were already dressed, so we would walk to work. And what we remember was the stillness of the world. There was no buses, there were no cars. Everything was still and quiet and beautiful. Nothing was disturbed because, people weren't eating. And there was just very few people on the road.
Yeah.
And so we walked to work, and when we got there was almost nobody there. So we just sat around and got paid for it because there wasn't enough people to do the work.
No kidding. What a cool night.
So there's something about snow with my mother and I that... And see, I've got wildlife pictures in my home. That's more what I have. Not a lot of flower pictures, but a lot of them are snow pictures with snow in them. So, although I don't like being in, I don't like when it snows here and I can't get out and about. There's something about snow that was always a connector for my mother and I. For some reason, I don't know why, but. Did you? Yeah, I tried to send tap to download. Okay, see if it works. Oh, there they go. Okay. I sent 4 pictures, Kevin. Just.
When you walked to work, was it like early in the morning? Was it just like a sunny?
Yeah, because we started work. I think we started work at 7:30 in the morning, and so we got up and got dressed, and we knew it was a blizzard out. And debated about going to work because we walked 3 blocks up, from First Street to Fourth to catch the bus by the hotel there. And when we got up to the bus stop, nothing was running. Maybe if there was a car or two on the road, there wasn't a lot of traffic. It was early morning, and the buses weren't running. So we were already dressed, so we decided to just walk our way to work, and we did. And when we got there was very few people there. We talked about that a lot, too, Mother and I.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So I guess it's special to me because, it was just something we would talk about a lot.
Yeah, that's a great memory.
Yeah, it was really, really neat.
So hold on a minute.
Okay, I just am going to send you a picture under the tree with Jim and I, your dad. And then he and I putting some stockings on the mantle. And then the one of Nellie's bells and my little thimble. And then one of Herb and his family in the mountains. Those are the 4 that I thought would be good with the story. Somewhere I have a picture of St. Mary's with that big stained glass window.
Well, you mean the round one in the middle? In the front?
Yeah, by the firewall.
I've got a picture, Linda. I'm looking for it right now. I just had it earlier today, and it's right here in my photos. But I got a couple of thousand here. I'm sifting through.
Well,
wow.
I was just looking at one of St. Mary's, too, because I have a special book that you sent me about St. Mary's and their special...
Yeah. What, honey?
Yeah.
Can you have those?
I don't know.
Kevin,
this is really getting us to dig in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm loving that you're sending these to us.
But sometimes I feel bad because I wish it would be so much better if it was your dad that was doing this. For your kids.
You can move it right there.
Have your dad part of it.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Hey, now I feel like maybe I'll tell Dad about some of this to see if anything jogs his memory.
If he can add anything to it.
You know?
I know that his memories and mine will be different.
Yeah.
Because I was the only girl in
here it is.
a little bit, but But we were together a lot. I've got so many pictures of he and I together when we were young. I'm going to send him some.
Man, I don't know if he's got that many, Aunt Linda. Why don't you? Yeah, I would love it. Take some.
I'm going to send him a bunch.
Take some pictures and send them to us.
Yeah. Okay, is this it? Oh, St. Mary's. But it doesn't really show. Mine doesn't show the stained glass window, Mary.
Well, I'm sending this to you now.
Okay, yeah.
But there's no snow, Linda, because this is summertime. This is springtime. There's no leaves on the trees, but it's a picture of the front of St. Mary's Church.
Huh.
So you'll see that big window I'm talking about. It's all lit up at night, as you can imagine, at midnight, you know.
Yeah. Oh, just gorgeous.
And we had music playing already when we were
Hey, Dad.
in this church, so it was...
They got your sisters on the line here.
The atmosphere was amazing.
So they got Mary and Linda on the line.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
So what's the question today?
Hey, Dad's on the phone.
Oh, okay. I gotta plug my phone in. I'm down to 18%.
Plug it in there.
They were just talking about some Christmas traditions and some fun things. Like, I think I know now why we went to the walnut groves and had to shell our own nuts because Aunt Angie made you guys do it when she made pizza.
Yeah.
You remember Mom's little nut pickers? And we used to pick the meat out of the nutshell?
Shit, that's when we were picking black walnuts. Not
No,
English.
that's when we were picking walnuts to make pizzas, honey. Because that's all she had was the great big bags of whole walnuts, and that's what she used to use with that old grinder that you hooked up to the kitchen table.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Jim, can't you picture us all sitting at her table picking away at those nuts?
Oh, those damn black walnuts. Shit. First
No,
off,
we didn't. Well, your mother used the black ones in cookies. Mom used regular English walnuts for potatoes.
The black walnut. Maybe we did them for Mother too, Jim.
Yeah, you did the black walnuts. She made a cookie with black walnuts. Mom never used black walnuts.
English walnuts were easy to pick.
No, not all the
didn't need
time.
those things. The black walnuts were the bears because you couldn't break them in half.
I think maybe we did that for our mother, Jim.
What's that?
Pardon?
Say it again, Linda.
I'm saying the black walnuts we might have done for my mother, and the English ones for Angie. But it's still, we had to pick through all those shells.
We still had to pick them.
Easy for little hands and little people. I think I remember Jim's head bent over the table too much. He was little. Oh.
Huh.
Jim, I've got some pictures I'm going to be sending you when we were little.
Okay.
You don't have any like I do, I don't think.
Probably not. I
And
don't
it should be in
remember
your
any.
family. You know, I can't part with all of them, but I'm going to send you a bunch in one of these days.
You,
All right.
Aunt Linda, you can take pictures of some of those and text them to Dad too.
Oh yeah. Well, I could do that. Maybe that'd be easier, but
Yeah.
you know, when I'm gone, nobody's going to go through the pictures, so I might as well physically send them some too.
Sure.
You know, and I got some for Chuck too. I found one of Mama and Daddy and Cold and Chuck. You know, which very few with Chuck. You know, he came along and he was so much younger that we didn't have as many pictures of him.
Wow, these are great pictures, Aunt Linda.
Are they? Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, these are awesome.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. It's hard to know what to pick. You know, I should text those two by the mantle and the other one to your dad. I think I will now. I'm going to send you two pictures, Jim.
All right.
That looks just like you too, Dad. Wow.
I hope so, with my picture.
This has been fun, Jim. Mary and I are enjoying it.
Good.
So, yeah, Mary was telling us about how she got that bike one Christmas. Do you remember that?
I don't remember Mary getting the bike. I remember.
Out on the porch?
I didn't remember Mary getting a bike.
Yeah, she said...
Mary, I was out in the room.
Dad doesn't remember you getting that that Schwinn bike on the porch.
Oh, you don't?
Oh,
Oh my God, that's one of the best memories of my life. The milkman, the guy that used to be our milkman, wasn't his name Augie?
oh, Mary, you aren't telling me that your mom had an affair with Milk?
No! The milkman played Santa Claus for us. Oh my God.
Okay, Jim, I texted you 2 pictures.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't know when they'll come through, but we'll see. I got lots here. You and I are together in tons of pictures.
Yeah, they're really nice ones, too.
They haven't come in yet.
Okay. Hope I did
It
it
may
right.
take a while, though.
Messages here.
Yeah, Dad's internet is as bad as yours, Aunt Linda.
Okay.
But, great stories here about the Petitza. And now, you know, and I'll never forget this, like... Because we grew up, I think, because of the way you guys did it at your house, only opening our presents one at a time, too.
Yeah.
You know? I don't remember where I was the first time I witnessed this, but I just remember being in shock the first time I was at a different house other than my own for Christmas, and everybody just shredded open their gifts all at once.
Yep.
That's what happened at Marcy's.
It blew my mind with Bob's
I think I just sat there.
Yeah, I just thought everybody did it that way.
And nobody knew what they got. You know, I didn't know what the next person got, you know?
Yeah.
And you
That's
know,
how they did it with
I
Bob's
spent time with all that whole big family Marcy had shopping for presents. I don't know if they hardly looked at the card who gave it to them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
oh, it's so
Interesting. So, yeah, I love these stories, Dad. You got any favorite Christmas stories, Pops?
Not that I can think of.
From when you were a kid?
Right offhand.
Well, another thing, Kevin, that we used to do, and your dad will remember this. You know, our trees were decorated with all kinds of different ornaments, the old ornaments.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I asked my mother to have some of the old ornaments, she'd given them away. She didn't have any. I had just a few, just a couple.
Yeah.
But and a lot of tinsel on the tree. In those days, tinsel made the tree and garland. But we would sit on the couch and say a game of I see something the color of. Do you remember that, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then we'd say
I played that with
blue
my
or
kids.
white or something, and then we'd have to say, well, there it is on top of the, we'd have to guess which ornament the person was
which
looking
ornament
at.
it was.
It didn't take
And
much
everything
to
was red.
entertain us.
I always liked it when we had the tree in the bay window.
Yeah, I have a picture of that somewhere, Jim.
Yes, it was like, there it is. That's the place you put the presents and the tree, and the whole ball of wax was right there in the bay window, and everybody could see it.
Well, I have a picture of the bay window somewhere with the doors going up. Remember the stairs that were up to Carolyn and her family upstairs?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, the doors to that are there in the bay
And
window.
we had steps going down to the basement there in the living room.
Yes. Oh, that's
Up and down,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, and they took all that out when they remodeled it.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. We were remodeling the house, Kevin, when I was a sophomore in high school. Can you imagine having a date come and everything is draped and...
No kidding. Wow. So there were basements, there were steps in a basement in that living room?
What a mess that was.
No kidding.
It's 8:30.
That's crazy. I just remember that house always had a sort of a musty smell on the backside on those stairs that used to go up to the upstairs that you didn't use anymore by the time we came to visit.
I'm sure wasn't used.
Yeah.
When we were little, people were up and down all the time. It wasn't that way, you know.
Yeah. Occasionally, when I was traveling for work and visiting a lot of properties, I would come across that same exact sort of musty smell, and it would just stop me dead in my tracks.
Isn't that something?
Because it would take me back to that place, that spot in the house.
That is so amazing, Kevin.
Yeah.
You know what brings me back a lot is lilac, the smell of lilac.
The lilac.
Picture we ever took that meant anything
I
outside
know.
was in those lilac bushes. And
Oh, yes,
sometimes I have a
absolutely.
lilac bush here. I just stick my nose in it and just remember, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Especially I'm so far away.
That was like an archway from the steps to the walk.
Really?
Is that?
The ones. The lilac bushes, we had them and they were on both sides of the sidewalk.
Oh, God, yeah. We had every birthday and first communion, confirmation, everything in front of those pictures. Pictures were all...
I have a picture of you in your cassock when you were an altar boy.
Yep.
You know, I put aside quite a few to send to you. I'll have to get them sent because your family should have those, you know. Here's I'll have to send this one to you. This is the bay window with all of us in front of the tree. So how am I going to do that now? Okay, I got to go this way. Okay, there. Okay. Now go back to James.
Oh, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna just write family on it. Did any come through, Jim?
No, none of them have come through.
It's,
Oh, foolish.
your phones might be weird like that. They'll probably show up as soon as you hang up, Dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sent it again, so
Yeah.
I sent another one. You know, Jim, I have had them pop in the next day.
You have what?
I have had somebody send me a text of pictures and it pops in the next day. Or a couple times I've been sleeping and I hear that thing ping,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get up and it's a text from somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if they don't come through, well, I'll try again. I sent 3 so
All right.
far.
We won't give up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Hey, check your phone, Dad. I sent them. Maybe they'll come through if I send them to you.
Yep, I got 2 images from you right away.
Well, that's weird.
Well, I'm having trouble with my phone anyway, Kevin.
Well, take a look at those pictures, Dad.
Right now it says no service, and that's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. We're wearing PJs.
Isn't that? I've never seen. I can't remember ever those. Those are. It's like I've seen them for the first time.
Wow.
That's the mantle in the living room. Look at that wallpaper. Oh, my God.
Not only that, Jim, I have a picture with that wallpaper and Mother's curtains that have flowers in them.
Oh. Wow.
And them lime green chairs.
Remember the lime green chair and the burgundy couch?
You know, Linda, I remember that nativity scene.
Oh, Jim, I am so sorry. When Mother died, and Mary Lynn, you'll remember this. We were in the basement, and Mother's nativity set was there. And I said to Mary, I'm going to take the lamb. And Mary said, no, because that's part of the nativity set. And I said, I'm taking it. And every year when I put out my Christmas nativity, I've got that lamb from Mother's.
Really?
Well, where'd the rest of the...
Why you
Sorry,
didn't
I
take
never
the
took
whole
the whole
set?
set.
Where's the set?
I don't know. Who took it?
That was all donated stuff. That was all donated stuff, I'm sure.
No, the nativity should have never been. It should have went to Jim
Mary
and the
Donna was
kids.
down there with us, unless Donna took it.
Donna might have taken it.
Ooh. Wow. We'll check with Chuck and Don and see.
I hope she did, because I've regretted that many years. I've regretted that I never took the whole set, but I have the lamb.
Oh, wow.
I remember
Jason
that.
pop in the
Remember,
shower.
we would always make a cardboard box and cover it with that white, with the like snow.
Yes, yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Really brought back a memory, I'll tell you.
Yes, it does.
And Jim,
Yeah.
you know, we were together a lot when we were little. I've got so many pictures of you and I together. Mama did take a lot of pictures when we were little, like at Amsler's. When we lived with the Amslers and that, and some in our yard. So I am going to pass them on so your family can have them. You know, they should have them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
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 I'd love to see more of these
It's been
pictures.
great, Kevin. It's been so good to, you know, when we're gone, this is all gone, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
It's because we're the oldest ones in the family now that remember anything like this. So,
Jim, did I ever send you the picture? It was one of my birthdays, and it was Ricky's first communion. But we're out in the yard, and there's Carol and Ricky, Helen and Kathy and Richie, and Linda and me. Did I ever send that to you?
I don't remember you ever sending it to me. No.
Okay. I'll send that one.
No.
Okay. I just sent that.
All right.
I found
Yeah.
one with the new house right in front of the old house. There's no garage yet for the new one yet. But it was, the new house is there. My van is there. And I can't remember who had the little white car. Must have been Chuck. Anyway. But it's right in front of the big house.
sure wish I had the pictures of those containers that Mama did her cookies in.
Were they tins?
Yeah, they
Yes,
were
they
tins,
were.
weren't they, Linda? Yeah, she always had tins. And she had them on the attic staircase.
Yeah,
going up
I
the
think she
little
probably
attic.
had 4, 5, or 6 of them. I just, you know, I wish I had had one of them for a memory.
And she would fill them up, and we would steal them as fast as we could.
You remember that too, don't you, Jim?
Oh yeah.
Every kind of cookie you can imagine she would make.
Huh.
It was wonderful. It really was.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So good memories.
Nice. Yeah, Grandma Helen, she would always make me Rice Krispie treats.
I remember that she would, and she put lots of marshmallow in it.
Yeah, she did. They were so good.
Marshmallow.
Brian was one that liked those too. She made them for you and for Ryan.
Yep. Suckers for Grandma's cooking for sure. Bacon, I mean.
know.
Yeah.
Dang.
Jim, I sent you a picture of my bike I got from Santa.
All right. Let me see if that one came through. I think it did. Hang on.
It's my phone, Kevin. That's the problem, I think.
That's all right.
See, I'm on my phone, but I'm sending from my iPad.
I could forward a couple to Linda.
Oh yeah, I got 2, Mary. There's okay.
Mary,
God.
you gotta send. Did you send one of Chuck holding that Tommy gun?
Oh, no.
Send him that one and see if he remembers it.
Kevin, I'm going to send you a good one of our bay window, okay?
Oh, please.
Okay.
Is that a punching bag on a?
Kathy,
Yeah.
okay, wait. Hey, that picture, Mary.
Yeah?
Who's standing to the side of Ricky?
Let me look here. In the back row is Carol, you, and Linda.
Yeah.
And then the little-
Just
the
the
first
only one I
row
don't
is-
recognize is the one with the great big goofy smile. That must be you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's me with the little boat, with the little jacket on. And
Yeah.
then there's Ricky
Okay.
and Helen Copa, Kathy, and Richie.
You can send that one to me, Mary. I don't have that one.
Yeah, I want to see it too. Better send it my way too.
I sent it to you for the kids' pictures.
Hold on a minute.
Okay, I'll send it there. I'll send it there.
Harry, I don't remember that bike for anything.
Oh, I do. I remember it.
Well, yeah, it was yours.
I remember Santa came, and, okay, wait a minute, let me clear this up. Santa came, and he had a big red sack, and he passed out things to all the kids, because the Sweet Tech kids were down and everything, and I didn't get anything. And I went up and I asked him, is there anything for me? And he looked in his sack and he said, I don't see anything. And then he says, oh yeah, he says, wait a minute. I couldn't get one in my bag. It's out on the front patio. And so I went charging around the planters, through the kitchen, and onto the patio, and there was my brand new bicycle. I was in 3rd grade.
Huh.
I kind of don't remember the Santa either, Mary.
I do.
Well, you would because it was one of your special times.
Yeah, that one and the watch were the two that stick in my mind the most. But I know it was the milkman that played Santa because I think he went to Whitey's house too. Because Whitey had his family for Christmas.
Wow.
Harry.
Anyway.
Look at that. Oh, thanks, Aunt Mary. Which one's Dad?
Which one is Dad? Your dad is right behind Ricky. Right behind the one with the first communion.
There he is. Yep, I see him now.
Aww.
That's not Linda next to him.
Yeah, Carol and Jim and Linda. And then it's me and Rick, Helen, Kathy, and Richie.
Which one are we looking at now?
The one with us kids. In front of the lilac bush. I sure wish it was colored.
Well, I
Right.
just wanted Chucky how little he was, how cute he was. Oh.
No, I don't see one. The only one I see is the one with Gulpus in our. I don't see one with Chuck in it.
Chucky is a baby. I sent you one with your mother and Chucky. He's got a gun. He's playing with a gun. And there's Mom opening a present, and I'm standing next to her. There's a guy behind me, but his head's chopped off. I have no idea who it is. Could be Whitey, for all I know.
Yeah, Dad.
Well, that's it. Wait a while.
Yeah, that's my bike.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great Google images of that bike.
Only my bike was I had an all-white seat, but the rest of it was that blue.
Nice. Wow.
And I had white envelopes.
Yeah. Oh.
It was killing me. I had to wait till March.
I'll bet.
Floating belt so I could get out and try to ride it.
Yep.
That's priceless with the Copa kids, because I don't have anything hardly with them.
Oh, I didn't either.
How
I
about
haven't
that?
seen any of these photos. They're all new to me.
Well,
Good.
it seems like when Mother died, Jim, I divided a lot of the pictures, and I don't know whatever happened to them. I gave you 2 or 3 of us when we were together as children, and you don't have those.
You know, I got pictures, but I'd have to go through them, and I should do that while we're doing this kind of stuff.
I tried to be fair. I think I kept 3 and gave you 3 of, like when we were 2 and 4 and 3 and 5. You know how my mother did at Owen Mills.
Uh-huh.
And I think I I gave you 3, I think, and I kept 3 of the bigger ones. And
Well,
then with the
they may
little
be
pictures,
may
I
be
think I
out
went through
there.
and
They
made piles
haven't
for
been through those
each
pictures in
person.
years.
That's probably where Mary got some of her pictures. When Mother died, I tried to go through all those pictures that she had. Because she just had them in boxes, too. You know, she didn't have them in albums.
No, these are in albums, Linda.
Oh, okay.
These
Well,
were in
mine are
albums.
loose. Mine are loose. Thank God. Oh, what would I do with all those albums? I don't know.
Wow.
Well, poor Kevin, you got all the typing. You have the hard work to do with the typing. It's easy to talk. It's hard to type.
He's got to make everything out that we're talking about.
I know it. What a mess.
No problem at all sorting this out.
Just get to talking, and poor Kevin.
I'm having a blast listening to you guys kind of reminisce about some of this stuff. So
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to read
give
the
us
book.
input too of what your family, you know, your traditions and stuff. It'd be nice maybe to just put a footnote with our story. Just put a footnote of what, you know, especially that you went out and got walnuts and you opened gifts one at a time, and you know, you can put anything in our stories too.
Yeah, we don't care.
you know, I may do that in this particular case because it literally just was dawning on me like. You know, I didn't know this story about you guys having to crack walnuts when you were kids, and then, you know, when we wanted Dad to take us all out to the orange grove, the walnut groves, and we just walk around filling up those 5-gallon buckets with walnuts, and we get home, we peel off the shell, and if we wanted Mom to make magic cookie bars, we had to shell out enough nuts for her to do it.
Wonderful. Oh, you can add that to our stories if you want to. It's our book.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of our book. So if anything that we talk about that you think you want to add anything, we don't care.
Love it.
Yeah, you know, Jim wants to add stuff. That's fine.
Do it.
Uh,
Yeah.
Of course.
But Jim, I sent you one of that group of kids, but it was down in Mom's old kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were celebrating my birthday and Rick's first communion. But it's down in her old kitchen.
Oh, my gosh. Mary Torsen?
Yeah, Mary and Kathy and Helen in that one.
Oh, you know, that poor girl was cheated. She looked so much like her dad, she was ugly.
Really did. She looked like Doc.
And she still does. You know what? She still walks like him, too.
Oh, no.
Really?
She's got his walk. I see her.
Judy was the prettier one. Judy was prettier. She looked more like Doc.
Yeah, Judy's out in California.
Oh. Look, man, oh, man, oh, man. Wow. Where the hell was that picture taken, that birthday picture?
Well, when Rick made his first communion, he was probably in second grade. I must have been maybe in first, because he was older than me. They used to make first communion in second grade, and I was either kindergarten or first grade. So he had to be 7 or 8 years old. About 8 years old, I guess. I was about 6 or 7.
I have some pictures for Carolyn, too, that I'm going to give her.
That's crazy.
I found one of her confirmation with her mother. You know, I don't know what kind of pictures she has, but some of these need to go back where they belong.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
That is crazy.
It's been neat. It really has.
It's been so fun to go through these pictures and reminisce. And Mary and I spent a lot of time talking about what we're going to talk about. And, you know, do you remember this? Do you remember that? You know, it's really perked us up, too.
Yeah, I sent you a couple of pictures, Dad, of some of those toys and stuff are still out there. People have pictures of them with the box, like that gun that toy gun Chuck is holding. I'm sending you guys a picture of it now. That's out there online.
It's still oh my goodness gracious! That's
Hey, I'm gonna
65
send
years
you.
ago, practically.
Jim, I'm going to send you a picture of me and Paul. I got a little picture.
Oh, those are in color.
Yeah.
Oh my
Now
God!
that was your bike. There's two different bikes.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's close.
Wow.
But that burp gun, Mary, I think if you zoom in on that picture of Chuck holding that little gun,
Yeah.
I think there are sparks coming out of it. Because look,
Really? Wow.
look near the end of the gun, the edge there, and you see a little bit
Wait
of.
a minute, I got to get back here.
That must be because it says it's a sparkling gun, right?
It's electric. It's not caps.
Yeah.
If you look close, it says no caps needed.
Oh, that's right. So it must just shoot sparks,
Oh, that had to belong to Chuck.
right?
Yeah, it says electric burp gun.
Eh,
Oh, boy, that'd be worth a fortune right now.
I wonder.
You know
Yeah.
what though, Chuck? Mother never was a saver. I had all those, remember those storybook dolls I had?
If we just had comic books, we had.
I don't think she saved anything. When we were done with it, it was probably given away or whatever. I don't know. We had that big attic, but there was never anything in it.
I asked Mom one time, did you save any of my comics? And she said no. I said, hot damn, there goes my retirement.
I know. Just think if she'd have just stuffed it in the attic.
I got some of mine.
In the kitchen, there was nothing up there.
I can
I've
remember.
got some of mine.
We had stacks and
Did you
stacks
think,
of
Kevin,
comics.
the clear
Wow,
picture of
Dad.
St. Mary's? Because that's the big window that we saw when we were going to church that night.
Pardon?
Mary,
What, Linda?
would you send Kevin that picture of St. Mary's Church, the front
I
of the
did.
tree?
I sent
Oh, I got it.
Oh,
I got it.
Because that's the window. If you can imagine it at night, with all the lights, the regular lights at the bottom coming out, but all the colored glass when you're walking up at midnight, it was just really beautiful. And then you come out and all the lights coming out and all the snow coming down. It was really neat. Jim, were you there that night that we went to midnight mass? Maybe you weren't. Probably not, because you were in California then. Yeah, you were in California.
Oh, was that late in the timeline there, Linda?
Yes, it was when we were old. Well, Jim, do you remember that when we went to midnight mass and it wasn't snowing when we went in the church and it was snowing when we came out?
I
don't
remember that.
remember.
You don't remember? I don't know how old we were, Kevin. I think I was probably Jim went into the service. I think I was 20 or 21 when that happened.
Oh, sure.
So some of them are childhood memories, but I skipped a little bit.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't think to ask how old you were in that, so that's
Does
good
it matter
detail.
that we're skipping that way? Or did you want to stay with children?
Oh, no, this is fine.
Okay,
I don't know.
okay. We're sort of trying to go chronologically in the questions, but some of it I went forward a little bit. Like with the copper balls at Christmas, that was way later.
Well, I
That was
didn't bring
when I was
any of
married.
I didn't bring any of my family. I stuck more with my growing up years as far as traditions and everything. But like I said, as far as the traditions go, that's one thing that I did carry over to my family was opening gifts with the youngest one first, one at a time.
Yep.
And I still continue making the tradition of the Slovenian petices at Christmas and Easter.
Wow. That's the way to do it. I can't imagine doing it any other way.
No, I can't either.
So, any other memories, Dad, from those old days?
Well, what I always remembered was my buddies always wanted to come to our house Christmas because they knew we had tons of food. We always took forever, and you might even be able to snitch a beer off my dad.
Yep.
I did mention that our friends were always welcome, and Richie Copa and Larry McDonald would always come over.
Yeah.
Tommy Hartman.
And
Tommy Hartman had come over
Mother
too.
saying one time that she loved having everybody at her house because her feeling, she would have been very sad if her children went to somebody else's house on Christmas Eve. So she was very happy that everybody came to our house.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And I can remember, I can see Richie as they grew older too. Richard and Larry on that leaning on that planter box with Dad, watching us.
Yep.
Tommy Hartman had come over too.
Yeah, I forgot Tommy Hartman. Yeah.
Yep. The River Rats.
Yeah, the River Rats.
Is that what you called your gang?
Yep.
Yep, because all
We
summer
were the
long
River
they were
Rats.
down on the river.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Linda and Mary have said consistently throughout this so far that your house was the house to hang out at growing up.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
You
Always.
just had such good energy there, and people coming and going, and it was exciting
We
times.
got a lot to be thankful for in our life.
Yeah,
We do.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I wish
yeah.
kids had I wish kids had
when you're
innocent
older and
time.
you live away and you're around, there's a lot of families that are very dysfunctional or very competitive, or it doesn't have the vibe of there's a lot of families like ours that are close and good, but there's a lot that aren't. And so it makes you even more grateful for your family, the way we were raised.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like.
In fact, I know of a few that aren't too good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just love that me and Jay and Kelly are close as we are, and I'm starting to get an idea of where that's rooted in.
Well, I see all the pictures of you three together, and it's absolutely wonderful. And then I see she posts. See, I'm new to Facebook, and all those pictures of the old days are new to me. But I just love it when you're all three together, And the pictures, the one I like of Jason with Tyler though was where they're both in sunglasses.
Huh.
You probably don't remember it because it was just on Facebook not very long ago.
Oh,
But,
I might have missed it.
yeah.
But that's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, anybody else got anything interesting you want to toss out there?
I think I'm pretty good. How
Yeah?
about you, Mayor? Talked out.
This has been great. I'm glad we got Dad on the phone for this one. We'll have to bring Pops in.
too, because he has things to say too that
Might spur some memories. Yeah.
A little bit here and there. So.
Mm-hmm.
It all adds up, though. It all adds up.
Got to pepper in that old school knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I think so far for a caption, we started out with what were our grandparents like,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went to
Our parents was one of them.
what was our mom like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
what was our favorite toys as a child, what was our dad's like, what was the first big expensive purchase we ever did. Oh, one was what was our first big trip.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is memories of our favorite holidays and traditions.
Yeah, these are some good ones.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have skipped so far up in the story, but Mary kind of covered a lot of, the things that we did. So I thought, well, I'll just throw a few curves in there. But
Not at all. This is
okay.
any way you want to do it.
Did you and Julie ever look at the pictures I sent of Linda and I together? We don't have money.
I don't know.
We didn't have hardly any of us together. Just
I told her to decide.
It's amazing all the years.
Yeah,
all the
I think
times
the
I
book
came out for vacation, we never did that.
Oh yeah, we looked at them, and I can Photoshop those together, right? If you want.
Those two of
You want to
ones.
collage them together, yeah.
I think those are great because I think they blend in with the cover of the book that I picked.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's gonna be a good idea.
That would work out
Our
great.
little children, Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cute. Yeah.
I think
Okay, I
those
got
are
a picture here that I just came in. And it's a nut pickers, and who's the two kids at the top?
Who's this now?
Dad just got your pictures, Aunt Mary.
Which ones?
The nut pickers and what else, Dad?
There's a boy and a girl in a picture. Mary, I think's the girl, but who's the boy?
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, that's Paul.
Is that Paul? Okay.
Yeah, that's Paul.
All right. Got it covered. Thank you.
All right, that's Paul. And that's Mom's nutcracker and nut.
The eyes and nose.
Yeah.
That's Frank, except man. He looks just like Uncle Frank.
Yeah, he does. But you know what, though? You didn't know him that well, but he looks a lot like his Grandpa Roy. He really does.
Grandpa Roy. I just saw a picture of Aunt Julia and Roy up on Starved Rock, Mary Lynn.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know where it is now. I should have.
If you ever find it, Linda.
She was so flamboyant. She would come down from Chicago with those big skirts on. Remember those colorful skirts and those cotton blouses and that frizzy hair? She was and a lot of jewelry.
But Linda, if you ever find it, send me a copy.
It brought happiness into his life.
I remember that big ass Packard they drove down. Gee. Yeah. That was probably the most expensive car we'd ever seen.
Probably. It's funny you didn't try to put sand in his gas tank.
No, I didn't put any gravel in his tank.
My Dad would not only beat you, he'd have skinned you.
Yeah. I think it came close to a skinning on that insurance guy.
I know.
Wow, that's a big car. I'm looking at Packards online now.
That's neat, Kevin, that you can do that because it really makes the stories more real to you.
Yeah.
When you see something that looks like something that we talk about, that's really neat.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing here, just kind of
exceptionally great.
Noodling around looking at some of these pictures you're talking about. It's a sharp-looking car.
Yeah.
Wow. How cool.
Hey guys, I'm going to have to go pretty soon. I'm down to 18% on my phone.
Okay.
We should wind it up anyway. Thank you much, Kevin. Glad to hear your voice, Jim.
Hey, we love all of you. Good night.
We love all of you too.
Sleep well.
Love.
Love you too.
Love you guys.
I'm going to
Good night, everybody.
Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, Aunt Linda. Love you.
Okay, love you too.
Bye.
And thanks again for the flowers. They're beautiful.
You bet. You deserve it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.